Hello and good morning, it's Sachin. I hope you're doing amazing. I, in fact, trust you're doing amazing. Especially if you're watching this video, you're gonna feel a newfound sense of hope after we're done with this short Facebook Live presentation. So one of the things that I want you to know and pay attention to is that where you send flow is where you send function. If that's all you learn from this short talk today, then you will be far ahead of the curve and you will understand how to tap into your own body's where I send flow is where I send function. So let me give you a really simple example of this. If I'm exercising and I'm doing squats, where should I be sending blood? Go ahead and type that in. If you were exercising and you were doing squats, where do you think it would make the most sense for your blood to go? Okay, and clearly the answer is to your glutes and to your quads and to your hamstrings and to your lower extremities, which makes complete sense. Where else would we want to send it? We wouldn't want to send blood to our biceps. We wouldn't want to send it anywhere else except where it's required. And with that blood flow comes function. Okay, so just keep that in mind. With that blood flow comes oxygen, comes nutrients that the body needs in order for it to function properly. So let me ask you another question. If you were digesting your meal that you just had, or you are in the process of eating, where does it make sense for you to send blood flow to? Go ahead and type that in. Very simple. It's no trick questions here, but I want you to type that in. I want you to acknowledge that. Where would it make sense for you to send blood flow to? Well, the answer is quite clear. It would make sense for you to send blood flow to your digestive system. And so one of the things that we have to realize is that our body is smart. It has infinite intelligence. It has infinite capacity to heal and regenerate. However, we have to make sure we're not overriding that intelligence with our own, follies, our own errors, our own mistakes that we might be making. So it makes sense for us to send blood where it's needed most. And if we're not doing that, then we should expect that function is going to be compromised. Now, one thing to realize is that our body prioritizes stress over repair and regeneration, because there's no point in regenerating and rejuvenating and reproducing if you're dead, right? So we're always going to prioritize, our body is always going to prioritize survival over repair. And that makes sense, right? If your house was burning down, which I hope it never does, but if it was, you wouldn't be painting a wall or putting up a new addition to your home. You'd put out the fire first, address that, repair the damage, and then move on to, repairing or restoring the rest of your home. So the body uses the same level of intelligence, which doesn't sound very intelligent, sounds very obvious, but it's important for us to know that. So when somebody comes to us and they say, Sachin, I have digestive issues, I've done detox programs and they don't work, or, my kidneys aren't functioning properly, my liver isn't functioning properly. Well, let me explain something to you that my mentor, Dr. Bob Rakowski, shared with me from a study. In states of fight or flight, we only send 5% of our blood flow to our liver and kidneys, 5%. Any guesses how much that is at rest? Well, in the interest of time, I'm just going to tell you, we send 50%. 50% of our blood flow goes to our liver and kidneys when we're in a state of rest. So we can experience 90% less blood flow to those organs when we're under stress. In fact, when we're under stress, there's an 80% decrease in blood flow to our digestive system, because the blood has to come from somewhere, right? The blood has to go from the trunk to the arms and legs if we're going to run away, or if we're going to be fighting whatever it is that's trying to harm us. Now, remember, stress can be perceived or it can be actual. And most of our stress this day and age is actually perceived stress. So we go into a state of survival. However, we don't need to be in that state of survival, but our cells don't know that. Our physiology doesn't know that. Okay, so this is why our mind is so powerful when it comes to healing and repair, because our mind determines if we're going to have a stress response to a situation. Now, how does it do that? It does that based on your past experiences, your values, and your beliefs. So based on your past experiences, what you value, and what you believe, your body is going to initiate a stress response. And when that happens, blood that should be going to the trunk, to the detoxification organs, to your liver, your kidneys, your bowel, reproductive organs, etc., is now instead going to go to the arms and legs. And so that compromises the function of all the trunk organs. And remember, most disease starts in the trunk. People don't come to me and say, I have a disease of my bicep, that I have a disease of my quads, right? They used to when I was in structural care, but now they come to me and they might say, my liver isn't working properly, or my digestion isn't working properly, or my mind doesn't seem to be as sharp as it used to be. So that's a function of adequate blood flow. So if you're eating under stress, well, guess what? You're not sending adequate blood flow to your digestive system. Now, what you also want to keep in mind is that digestion isn't just while we're eating. That might be the first 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes or half an hour of the digestive process. But then there's 2 hours to 3 hours that food might sit in your stomach, and then it has to go through the rest of the digestive process. So you can't just, be chilled and relaxed when you're eating and then go immediately into a stressful situation. Just like you can't go swimming right after you eat, right? Because your body is competing for where it's going to send blood to. And remember, survival always wins. So you will start cramping, right? Your abdomen will start cramping, your stomach will start cramping, your diaphragm might start cramping, because you're trying to send blood flow to your arms and legs when your digestive system is needing it to digest the meal that you just had. So we all know about examples of this and when, it can backfire for us. So I want to share with you a really simple concept called autonomic pairing. And it's really simple. It sounds like a fancy name, but it's really quite simple. And here's what it means. It means that we're pairing our nervous system function and blood flow with the task at hand. So if I want to improve and optimize my detoxification or my digestion or my reproductive health, then guess what? I've got to increase blood flow to those systems. If I want to be more creative, if I want to be better at problem solving, well, guess what? I've got to send blood to my neocortex, which is a part of my brain that makes me intelligent and makes me an intelligent problem solver and a creative problem solver. If I don't do that, then I'm not going to get the function that my body desires, that mentally and emotionally I'm desiring, but physiologically I'm making impossible. So one of the things that helps us get such fantastic results with our clients is that we teach them about this autonomic system, and we teach them exactly how to activate it so that they're sending blood to the appropriate organ systems on demand. Imagine that. You can send blood flow on demand to whatever organ system you want based on a few things. One of those things is actually your breathing. So I won't demonstrate that for you right now, but I want you to know that the way you breathe changes and overrides where you send blood. So if I want to send blood to my right brain, it might show up as left on your side if this is inverted, then I can actually use a special breathing technique to do that. If I want to send blood to the left side of my brain where I'm more logical, then I can do that as well using special breathing techniques. If I want to send blood flow to the microcapillaries in my body, which are located in my brain, in my reproductive organs, in my periphery, like my hands and fingers and toes, guess what? There's a breathing technique that can increase blood flow and microcirculation to those organ systems as well. So there's a lot that we can do for ourselves. There's a lot that we can tap into, features that our body has that nobody's taught us, kind of like the features on your phone that nobody's taught you how to use, or features on your computer, or even in your car. There's buttons that you may have never even pushed because you don't know what they do. And these are available to you when you tap into your health. So my question for you is, are you pairing your nervous system with the activity you're trying to accomplish? Okay, so if you're doing bicep curls, your body's going to send blood to your biceps. If you're doing squats, your body's going to send blood flow to your legs. If you're digesting, ideally, we want to send blood to the digestive system. But if we're eating under stress or stressed out right after we eat, then remember, the body prioritizes survival, so we're not going to get that adequate blood flow. And I would expect you to have digestive issues. So people come to me and they say, Sachin, my blood pressure is high, my digestion is a mess, my detoxification isn't good, I'm breaking out, my skin is problematic for me, I can't sleep at night, I can't do any of the things that I want to do. And here's how simple the answer is to them. I tell them, listen, there's nothing wrong with your body. That's exactly what I would expect to have happen. If you're under stress, I would expect your blood pressure to be high. I would expect your heart rate to be high. I would expect you not to be able to sleep properly. I would expect your digestive system not to function optimally. I would expect you to be less creative and less, and worse at problem solving. I would expect you to have a poor memory. I would expect you to have all the things that you've listed here as problems because your body is in a state of survival. Meanwhile, you're trying to thrive. And that's physiologically impossible. It doesn't matter what supplements I give you. It doesn't matter what labs I run on you. It doesn't matter what drugs I give you. If you don't fix this poor pairing of your nervous system and blood flow and send it to the organs that need it when they need it, then you will never experience good health. And I promise you'll never experience good health. I don't care who you see. I don't care what you take. I don't care what test you run. You will absolutely never get better. So let me give you an example of this. We get people that come to our office and they say, Sachin, I've quote unquote tried everything, right? Of course they haven't, because otherwise why would they be looking for help? But they feel like they've tried everything. And I understand that. I understand how it can feel like I've taken every pill, I've done every test, and I've taken every supplement and nothing seems to be working, or I've changed myself from one diet to the next and nothing seems to work. So then the $1 million question that I ask them isn't what are you eating? I ask them, how are you eating? And nobody's ever asked them that. Nobody's ever asked them, are you slowing down and getting into a relaxed state where blood flow is optimized and being sent to your digestive system so that those organs can function the way they were designed to function and help you digest your meal? If you're not doing that, then I expect nothing less. In fact, it would be miraculous if you didn't have digestive issues. But this question never gets asked, right? It never gets asked. I mean, very rarely. I shouldn't say never. I hope all of my practitioners here are asking this question, but very rarely does it get asked. And people are just like, you know what? Nobody's ever asked me that. I actually eat really fast. I actually eat standing up because I'm trying to get my kids to eat and I'm struggling with trying to find that balance. I view food as an inconvenience. So even if it's healthy, my perspective on it, again, my mindset, right? My belief is that eating is inconvenient, but here I am trying to eat to nourish my body. So you can see why this leads to a completely broken, seemingly broken body. However, there's nothing wrong with your body. There's something wrong with your beliefs. There's something wrong with your values. And there's something wrong potentially with what your underlying subconscious patterns might be. And so we can override this by improving and optimizing our environment. We can override this by improving and optimizing how much time and resource we allocate to the activity, right? So instead of rushing and eating your meal, how about you sit down, take a few deep breaths, have some gratitude for that meal, and chew that meal like your life depends on it, because it does, and send our body the right message that this is what I'm trying to do. Please send blood to those systems so that I can experience better health and those organs can do their job as they were innately and intelligently designed to do. So I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you a perspective that you can easily change. I hope this helps you understand that you're not broken. You were never broken, but it can feel that way if nobody's taught you how your body works, right? Just like I'm using my phone, so I can't use it as an example, but if I don't know how to use my phone, it's going to seem broken to me because I don't know what the buttons do, or I don't know what the features are, or I don't know what the settings are. So it's going to create frustration for me when in fact somebody who does know how to use the phone is going to have a completely different user experience. So autonomic pairing helps you have a much better user experience of your own beautiful billion-dollar body so that you can use it to your leverage and to your advantage. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a little bit more confidence and more clarity and more certainty. This is exactly what we help our clients do. We help them really tap into this innate intelligence that's woven into every cell, system, organ, and tissue in your body, and teach you how to instantly unlock it. So therefore, it doesn't take days or weeks or months or years to start feeling better. You can feel better at your next meal. You can feel better the next time you go exercise. You can feel better tonight if you choose to, if you have the right formula in order for that to happen. So if you found this valuable, please share, please drop a heart so I know you're tuned in, paying attention, and you're finding this to be beneficial to you. The world needs to hear more information like this, so please share. Help us all get this message out there, because I know you want your family to be healthy. I know you want yourself to be healthy. I know you want your coworkers and community and your neighbors to be healthy. I mean, who doesn't want that? We all want that. However, it's going to take spreading a message like this that's simple, that's practical, that's essentially free, it doesn't cost anything. Nothing has to be invented. The greatest tool has already been created by God, if you will, which is us. And now it's time that we learn how to use our body to its highest potential. And that's what I hope to do. And I hope you're finding this valuable. And once again, happy Functional Medicine Awareness Month. Lots of love to you and your family. Here's to your best, absolute best health. Bye for now. Talk to you soon.